Time passes, and the palace grows quiet again. When the anger of King Ahasuerus subsides, Scripture tells us that he remembers Vashti and what had been decreed against her. The decision cannot be undone. Yet in the space created by that irreversible moment, a new chapter begins. King Ahasuerus had removed Queen Vashti in a moment of wounded authority. The decree had been sealed. The king and empire had spoken. The palace had adjusted. But the king was left without a queen. Whether he felt personal regret, political inconvenience, or both, Scripture does not say. Yet in the space created by that irreversible moment, a new chapter begins. Once again the advisors speak. If Vashti cannot be restored, then a search must begin. Beautiful young virgins are to be gathered from all the provinces of the empire. Officers will oversee the process. They will be brought to Susa, into the house of the women. The tone of the text is administrative, efficient, orderly, systematic. But beneath that order lies something sobering. The empire stretching from India to Ethiopia now searches its provinces for young women. They are not invited to apply. They are gathered, taken from their homes, separated from their families. Officials select them, transport them, and place them within the guarded structure of the royal harem, a system that values beauty and control in equal measure. Each young woman undergoes a full year of preparation, 6 months with oil of myrrh, 6 months with perfumes and purification rites. It is a long season of waiting, of transformation, of uncertainty, of fear, and the one who pleases the king will become queen instead of Vashti. Yet within that machinery of empire, another providential story is quietly unfolding. The king did not remain in Susa. He leaves the gathering and preparation of the young women in the hands of his officials, under the custody of Haggai, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women. He has greater matters on his mind: conquest. Soon after these events, Ahasuerus, known to the Greeks as Xerxes the First, launched one of the largest military campaigns the ancient world had ever seen. His target was mainland Greece. His ambition was total domination. In 480 BC, his massive army crossed into Europe. A pontoon bridge was constructed across the Hellespont. His navy moved through the Aegean Sea, while his army advanced across the land. For a time, Persia appeared unstoppable. Thermopylae, defended by Leonidas of Sparta and his famed 300, fell. After Thermopylae, much of mainland Greece lay open before the Persian army. Athens was captured and burned. Then came the Athenian general Themistocles, and a narrow strait of water between the mainland and the island of Salamis. The Battle of Salamis. In September of 480 BC, the Persian fleet faced the Greek naval forces. From a height overlooking the strait, Xerxes sat on a royal throne, confident of victory. From that same height, he watched his fleet collapse. In the confined waters of Salamis, Greek ships maneuvered with precision. Persian vessels were driven into chaos. The defeat was decisive. Persian naval power was shattered in a single campaign. But more importantly, the illusion of invincibility was broken. Soon after, Xerxes withdrew to Asia. The great king returned home, not as conqueror of Greece, but as a ruler whose ambition had met resistance. Imagine the atmosphere when he entered Susa again. The palace remained intact. The empire was still vast, wealthy, and strong. But something had shifted beneath the surface. And within those palace walls, young women were nearing the end of their year of preparation. Among them was an orphaned Jewish girl. Following the advice of her adoptive father, Mordecai, she did not reveal her ethnic identity. Her Hebrew name was Hadassah. Her Persian name was Esther. Her time with the king would soon come. And somewhere beyond those palace walls, Mordecai remained near. He could not enter. He could not control what would unfold. But he watched. He waited. The vacancy had been created, and Esther's story was about to unfold. As we close, listen to the words of Scripture from which this episode was taken. Esther, chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. King James Version. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti, and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, Let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Hag, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women. And let their things for purification be given them, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti, and the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens, which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. Esther had not shewed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house, to know how Esther did, and what should become of her.